This is a Dacia Duster, and I think this is probably the best car in the world. And if you don't believe me, stick around.
Dacia builds honest, cheap, sensible cars. It doesn't boast about active aero or that the hide used on the seats are from fields without barbed wire. While the firm's design language isn't going to set the world alight, it's also not going to age terribly because it's simple. However, of all the cars Dacia makes, the Duster is the one that does it for me.
See, the Duster will do pretty much everything a normal person wants it to do, but without being pretentious about it, without using words like active or lifestyle. I checked the press kit, not to mention of either. It's basically a box on wheels, and it's not ashamed to admit it at all. Check out the interior, plastic as far as the eye can see, hard-wearing stuff designed to take a kicking. Not because you're going to be putting in things like, I don't know, windsurfs or other big, pointy, angry, extreme sports stuff, but because you're going to be loading up kids, dogs, shopping, real-world stuff. Now, this boot has about 478 litres of space. That's around 100 more than a Golf. Throw the rear seats down and you get more than 1,600 litres to play with. Now, you do lose a little bit if you spec the all-wheel drive car, but not so much you'd notice.
That means you can use it without worrying about breaking something. It's not built to be delicate, it's built to be used, which I'm told is a rather handy thing. It's a small SUV, so it's high off the ground. Now, while you can have it with all-wheel drive, you can also have it front-wheel drive only. No matter which you get, it's got some hefty angles of attack, so you can go up and down hills and the like.
While you won't be able to scale quite as many mountains in a front-wheel drive car like this one, you can still take advantage of its raised ride height. You see, if you've got kids you need to strap into seats in the back, you can strap them in without doing your spine in. Or, if you say want a higher view of the road, you can take advantage of that too.
There's a decent enough infotainment system, but as pretty much everyone has an iPhone or Android device, there's Carplay and Android Auto on top. You can have your music, podcasts, maps, messaging, and all that. It's thrown in and not an option, as it can be on other best cars ever.
When it comes to performance, the little Duster is not quick. Not at all. You can get one that'll do 0 to 62 in 9.7 seconds, but this one, a TCE 130, will do it in 10.6 and go on to a heady 120 miles an hour. Not the fastest thing in the world, but there's only so much a little 96 horsepower, 1.3 litre motor can do. It's quick enough though for most people. You can beat things off the lights. It'll do motorway speeds for sure. I mean, while it is very nice to have an angry 500 horsepower motor with neck-snapping acceleration, you can't and probably shouldn't use it on the day-to-day. You might get yourself in a little bit of trouble, you know, unless you live on an autobahn or really like collecting speeding tickets. And when you think about it really hard, when you're in traffic, this is just as fast as a Lamborghini. What's your little Duster like to drive then? You know what? It's charming. It's such a charming little car. Yeah, people are going to judge it, oh, it's just a box, why is it orange, why is it this, why is it that? But there's nothing wrong with it. It steers rather sweetly. It's not pin sharp, it's not a GT3, it's not anything like that. You know, I can't feel every lump and bump and every contour in the road, but it's good enough for normal people. You have enough feel through it that you can go, oh, okay, point and go, point and go, point and go. It's great, it does the job really neatly and really nicely. The ride itself, because we're quite high off the ground, it's quite softly sprung. And that has two advantages, because you don't lump and bump over everything, you don't wobble around, but it does have a nice gentle bounce as you go over, you know, undulations in the road. You sort of flow everywhere, which is, it's a bit strange, but it's not a bad thing. The old generation Duster did actually bounce everywhere. You sort of did that, even in a straight line on a smooth road. It was very strange, but this one's smoothed all of that out.
Okay, a lot of that is very praiseful. There are a few things that aren't great. It does creak a little bit and it isn't very fast, and if you really do want to hustle it, it doesn't handle particularly well, but that doesn't matter because it's honest about what it is. So all of that is all well and good. The Duster's got lots of things going for it, but how is it the best car in the world? Well, for one, it's cheap. They start at just over £13,000, though no one will ever likely buy one for that money. But for that, you can't get anywhere near even a new Ford Fiesta.
To find out what you can actually get for entry-level Duster money, I had a quick look through the classifiers and I found a few things. For example, a 996 generation 911 with a Tiptronic gearbox. That doesn't have half the boot space of this though. I also found a leggy E46 generation BMW M3 and a crash-damaged and repaired B7 Audi RS4. Now they're all really desirable cars, but I'll bet you a fiver you have to spend that entry fee again to get them, you know, to work.
What people don't quite appreciate about the little Duster is that it's also a classless car. Because of its dimensions, it's narrow, it's slab-sided, so you can see out of it, its usability with all that space, and the fact that it doesn't matter if you scratch, bash or damage bits of it, you don't have to worry about the odd knock, and, much like a good water bottle, a little bit of life damage will probably make it look a little bit better. You can feasibly park one of these just as easily outside a country estate as you can outside Asda.
As far as planet-besting things go, the Duster might not be the flashiest or the most expensive, the most tech-laden, or the kind of thing that people on the internet lose their minds over. However, despite the odd creak and rattle, it does everything it needs to do, honestly, without any issue at all. Some people may be cruel and view it as a white good, a fridge or a freezer, something like that, but you and I, we know the truth. It's the best car in the world.
Hello Internet, it's me again. Reggie's back there filming the Dacia Duster, the best car in the world. Now, we've watched the video, you obviously agree with what I have to say, but why not watch some more lovely Carfection films? And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe and tell me why you also think the Duster's the best car in the world, or, you know, tell me you disagree. But, you know, don't be too mean. I have feelings too.